Hello, everyone. We are back again in a live session in developing an entity intelligence, a .NET standardized library that will allow people to query and navigate, data without having to have any previous knowledge in SQL. So, Kailu, you have a like a
Okay,
So okay,
sorry.
no, you're fine. So okay, so let's get started here real quick. I know Gregory basically went and did a lot of work there to kind of add the logos and all that kind of stuff. So I'm just going to show people the stuff that the community has been working on. So Gregory basically went and added all the pieces. The package stuff and the new Git package stuff is not there yet, so we're gonna have to add these later. And then I wonder what this was. Oh, that's the .NET YAML stuff. That's right. So this is going to be our logo. Basically, it's pretty cool. We're going to use this as our, way of kind of publishing the library and whatnot. But for today, we really want to kind of tackle, let's see here. There's like initialize AI core. It looks like someone already did the, let's see here. So someone created the solution already. Cool. All right, I guess. All right, let me please watch this video. What's needed? Are you sure that since this is only solution it shows, this is a library, not a web API, other task? I think, Elbic, I think this is okay because it's just an empty project really, that doesn't really have anything in it. I think this will be okay. So let me go ahead and merge that in. So this is basically just initializing the .NET library. Hey, Gregory. So let me kind of clone what we have today. I don't even have the, so let me just open this in Visual Studio. And then I'm going to share my screen here on the next steps. So someone already initialized the library itself, which is pretty cool. Now we just need to kind of build on top of that and see what's actually in this library here. So let me kind of increase the resolution. Display settings, 175. I think that should be enough. And then let me go up in here. Here's this. So I see this, and then there is like standard.ai.entity intelligence. The one thing I noticed is that we have two of these now. There's EI.core. Right, so there's two SLN, AI.core. I think that's the one that was created initially. I think going in this route, I think we still want to stick to the standard AI.data.entity intelligence, right, Kay? I think this is what we talked about last time, right? The library could have the um, public name of AI.EI.core, but having this EI.core.solution is not the naming that we want to go with, I think. What do you think about that? Where's Kylo? Did I lose you?
Yep, agreed. Okay.
Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to create a new project here. It's going to be a .NET class library, and we're going to go and say standard dot AI dot data dot entity intelligence, right? And because this is even not a back end front end thing, that's really just the name of the library, just entity intelligence like that. And we want to disable the nonsense with the global usings and all that. I don't really like any of that stuff. So both of these will be disabled, the nullable and all that, because we're supposed to kind of write rules for validations for all of this. So that would be that piece. And then there's nothing here really. There should be no class or anything at all. It's just a very basic project that doesn't have anything else in it. So that's that piece, right? So that's our core project. Let me create a pull request for this one. So here's users, Hassan, Habib / infra initialize core project. This is partially on me because I haven't really put any specifications. So initialize core project, and then for people who are not familiar with this, you can actually find open issues like that in here. And I think that was issue number 1. It will try to find just the open ones for you, but and I did say specifically initialize EI.core. So I think that's why the confusion came from. This is on me, my apologies. So let me open up a pull request for this real quick. This brother here says, good morning from Uzbekistan. Hi, Sultan Bek. Nice to meet you. Okay, let's create a pull request for this one. Let's go over to GitHub here, and this should say closes. So initialize core project. Here we go. Kailu, do you have this project down already on your side?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, go for it. Let's go. Initialize the unit test for me. Let's knock out at least 3 or 4 of these tasks, and then acceptance and integration will be very straightforward. I think the build literally just copy paste from the OpenAI library. Yeah, I think these will be very straightforward. We can knock all of these out. Okay, sir.
Okay. Da, 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 da. Mm, mm, da, da.
All right, I can see your screen. Let's do it.
Okay.
So you have the entity intelligence. We want standard AI data entity intelligence dot tests dot
uh,
units, right? So let's create that one. That should that should close issue number 2.
standard dot AI dot data dot
Entity intelligence dot
entity
tests dot unit. Longest name in the world.
tests dot unit. Unit
That's
or
right.
units?
No, just unit. Unit.
Okay.
We should probably say units, but it's unit test, not units tests. So we're gonna keep it to unit, I guess.
.NET framework, is it the right one or no?
.NET Core. .NET Core 7. Uh-huh.
Probably, I think probably didn't choose the right one.
Yeah, you probably want to go back on the template and make sure that the template says .NET Core. It's not showing on your screen, by the way. So if you want to share the actual desktop, so it shows all these windows, unless your
Okay.
screen is too wide.
Hold on. Present share screen. Yeah.
Uh,
Go. Do that. Yeah. Share. Go. XUnit.net.
so type in XUnit.
XUnit.
Yeah, so XUnit test project, I think, yeah, it should be the top one. Yeah, because it says Linux. Since it says Linux, Linux doesn't, it's not gonna run on, yeah, so anyway, yeah, there you go.
Okay. Okay.
You want to do .NET 7, not 8. Although we should probably try that anyway. Just do 7 for now.
Mm.
I will probably shift this over to .NET 8 very, very soon. Anyway, yeah, go on the edit, remove all the stuff that says enable, disable all of them because they suck. We don't need any of that stuff. And
And
it's just a
this
bad
one.
decision. Yeah, do you see how it says enable implicit usings and nullables? Disable
Mm-hmm.
both of these.
Okay,
And
so
then
then,
I think delete the usings and change unit test1.cs to delete me. So you see the usings file on the right
mm-hmm.
side? Yeah, throw that away. And this unit test should be renamed to delete me. You know the drill. That's the rest. Nice.
Then I had to add some kind of the dependency thing, like project
No, not yet.
dependency.
Only when we need
Oh,
them. Only when we need
okay.
them. On the delete me though, go inside the delete me because we want to test our build and pull in the dependencies here and just say should be true for the test name. Fat arrow assert is true, and that's it.
Mm,
So the test name will be should be true.
okay.
hmm So just for the people watching, this test, if you're seeing this for the first time, this is no, Kylo, it's just assert true. So assert true. Yep. And then inside that you pass in a value called true or condition called true. Yep. Put a parameter name on it and fat arrow it. Okay, so just for people watching us doing this for the first time, why are we doing that, right? We're putting a dummy test so we can test that our pipelines, the build pipelines, are actually working the way they're supposed to. And this part is super important because if if we don't know that our tests are executing and running with some dummy test that we're gonna delete later, there is no way for us to be able to continue the development, and the infrastructure is not ready yet. Think of this stuff that Kailu and I are doing right now are semi DevOps, kind of half engineering because we're writing some code, but it's only written in there just for the purpose of, making sure that our pipelines are running properly. Can you fat arrow this one, please, Kay, before you push this?
Like, like what?
It's a one-line method, right? So we want to fat arrow it.
Uh, oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on. My mouse is not working. So hold on.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so this should be infra initialize unit test, and then you will type in also, you're gonna take a new line and do hash. You're gonna say closes hash two, something like that.
Mm,
Initialize unit test, yep. Oh, don't forget the copyright headers, Kailu, the exact same ones as the OpenAI one. So let me find the, thanks, Gregory. So because you're actually writing a file here, I want to bring in the OpenAI the standard OpenAI stuff. Trying to find the header for you here, son. Just give me one sec.
I
Any one of
can't.
them.
I
There you go.
can't
The
find it.
standard. Yep.
Can't
I
find it.
just sent it to you in the private chat on StreamYard.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's loading anyways. So. Okay.
Okay. And now you just opened up a gate to endless, like a black hole in the universe. Just seeing ourselves forever. All right, let's go. Oh, did it paste it? Oh, so it's did it try to format? Okay, just get it
No.
from the code then. I don't know why I
Maybe
did
next
that.
time. Maybe next time.
Maybe next time. So that's initializing the unit tests. No, not yet. You have to paste it at least once. There you go. Okay. Don't forget to say closes before the hash, because otherwise it's not going to close it. Closes space hash two. Yep, let fly. I don't know why it didn't autocomplete for you actually. It's kind of weird.
Maybe I don't have the feature installed or something. Some kind of plugin.
Yep, and you need to create a branch. Nope. There you go.
Uh,
Infra
unit.
dash, infra dash, initialize unit test. Okay, let's go. Okay, here we are. And it should just let you, it should understand the new line you took. So it knows the difference between a title and a description. Failed to connect to remote repository. Did you accept the invitation that I sent you for the
I
repository?
thought I did.
I will
Thought I
check now
did.
from my side. I will check from my side as well. Let's see here. Settings, collaborators. Let's see here. Logging in. Your email is showing to the public, dude. Just put that away.
Doesn't matter. There's nothing important. Just a bunch of
Okay, cool.
junks.
Oh, for your GitHub, that's good strategy. Nope, it's still pending, man. Do you want me to send you an invite again to this or what?
Okay. Okay. Sure. Good.
I think it went to your PureSoft one, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Pure soft its outlook.
Uh-huh. Did you find it? Okay. While Kailu's doing that, I guess I could work in parallel. So I'm just gonna go into this part of town and pull latest from main and kind of initialize, so we're kind of working in parallel in a way. So he's kind of trying to figure out this whole thing while I just initialize our acceptance test. Acceptance test is going to be very similar. So is integration test. At the beginning, they're going to start looking very similar, but then later on, they're going to be very, very different. So this is entity intelligence dot tests dot acceptance testing. So here is the acceptance test.NET 7. Let's go up in here. Here is my copyrights. I think it's still saved. There you go. And then let me just kind of fix our implicit usings. There we go. And then here is, let's throw away the implicit using stuff. We don't need that stuff. And then delete me for
So
this
time you send
project.
send me the invitation, right?
Yeah, it should be in your, whatever is who Kailu account is attached to. It should show up on your side.
Why is it not showing?
Mhm. Should be true. No, it's not showing still.
No.
Let's see, add argument condition. Let me know. I could do the same thing for the unit test project if it's not ready on your side yet. That's okay too. So just let me know. Here we go. This is done. I can create this as a branch. So here is users Hassan Habib slash infra initialize acceptance S is a branch. And then let me go and basically say infra initialize acceptance S, and this will be closing initializing acceptance test. So I'm just going to go ahead and push that out and then create a PR for it. So just again reiterating to this, we're just kind of building all the infrastructure pieces which you should have with every new project, and you should be building as many new projects as possible, because if you don't do this a lot, you kind of forget, right? So always experiment with a new idea, always try a new thing, to play around with, so you can you can keep these things, this is the most dangerous thing in our industry. Basically, the tasks that are one time or two time per projects, they're very, very easily forgotten. It's very hard to kind of capture those. So that's the part about that. Okay, so this acceptance says, well, since I don't see your PR, I'm just going to merge, and you're going to have to resolve that conflict on your own. I'll move on and create the integration test as well, Kailu. So I'll go on to this this project here. I'm gonna go back to main. I'm gonna pull latest. Here we go. And then we have acceptance, we have integration, and I think it's .NET 7, so that should be okay. And then I'm gonna create this last one, which is still an XUnit standard AI.data.entity intelligence .tests.integrations. And the integrations one is actually one that's actually going to go hit a real database and all that kind of stuff. Fikri says, good morning, guys. Does OpenAI credits renew like on DALI, or we have to go for the paid version? I personally use the paid version, but it's not going to be forever like that. It's not always going to be like that, because I think that a lot of people reached out to me and said, okay, your model is not going to succeed if people are going to be super dependent on OpenAI and paying money to OpenAI for every query. It's just not feasible, right? Because in some places, maybe there's multiple hundreds of thousands of these queries that we have to do. So it's just not going to work out this way. So Fikri, yeah, for the time being, to try out the POC that I created out there, you're gonna have to use that paid version. But moving onwards, we're gonna try to kind of find an offline model for it, because this is not something that you're supposed to be calling an external service for. We'll see. There's a whole bunch of options out there that we're evaluating, and there will be a lot of learning. So we don't have to necessarily rely on the OpenAI standard .NET library, right? We can develop another library just for an offline model that will allow us to do that kind of stuff. And people have been sharing links with me since I published that video. People have been sharing links and ideas. I'm very, very grateful for the community that is putting all that stuff out there to kind of help push us in the right direction. So, okay, so let's see here. I'm gonna do, I hope that answers question, Fikri. So this here is our integration test. Same thing, don't need the stuff that's in here. I'm gonna disable all that nonsense. Here you go, and then this should be delete me like that. So I'm taking that over here, and then need a couple of usings, and I need also my copyrights. If you're not familiar with this, if you click the Windows V, like if you click the Windows button and then the V button, it will show you all the things that you copied before, which is, I think it's pretty cool, pretty wild. So here we are. This is this guy. Let's just run all the tests. So now we have acceptance and integrations like this. Let's just make sure that these are properly running successfully.
I have a PR for the
You have the
queue.
PR? Cool. Wonderful. Okay. Why is this guy hanging? Let's see here. Cancel, rebuild. Let's run the tests. Come on, come on, come on. Why is it tripping? Why is it stuck like that? Weird. Let's do it old school. .NET build, .NET test, something like that. Tools. Yeah, sometimes things are gonna fail. You're gonna have to go the the command line route. .NET test like that. .NET run test. Specify the project. Okay. Integration. .NET test. Specify which okay. .NET test project, and then Nitty intelligence integrations. So unknown switch. Does it have to be uppercase P? something like that. Let's see. Huh, interesting. If it could just do me a favor and just run normally, that would be nice. Instead of me having to fight the, let's see. I'll just give it a second. I don't know. Sometimes it'll do that. While we're doing this, let's just review Kailu's PR while it's doing that build. Here we go. Initialize unit tests, and you have the right stuff. Did you have to do a lot of stuff to do the merge conflict? Okay, or is it just
Not really, just merging the thing together.
cool? So I'm merging that in. So since I merged that in, now I have to pull in your merged pull request into my project. So let me go do that. So here is this guy. I don't know, it's still hanging for some reason. I guess there isn't enough memory power in the world to make this work. Let's go here. I'll just probably end up restarting my Visual Studio. I don't like that a lot, but here we are. Okay, so let me merge your changes then first. So this is that synchronization incoming and outgoing commits. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Visual Studio is completely went berserk. We're too much for it. We're just way too much for it. Up Visual Studio again. Entity Intelligence project. Let me pick that guy up. There we go. And let me rebuild all of this. Cool. And what are these pending changes? This is just, oh yeah, infra, initialize integration tests. And this guy closes, give me the hash integration test. Okay, so I'm gonna commit this, but I'm not gonna push it yet because I need to merge with main, right? And in order for that to happen, I need to basically pull Kailu's changes in there. So we should be seeing 3 projects in here instead of, sorry, 4 projects here instead of 3. So I'm just gonna go like this and say get pull origin main, I think. Yep, and it says there's some modification. We need to do some merge conflict. And um, so if I click merge, I could just add Kailu's stuff in addition to my stuff. So look at this. So this is the merge conflict stuff here. And then it automatically kind of figured out the IDs. So basically we need both, basically. I'm just gonna accept the merge here. Hopefully that doesn't break anything. And then rebuild. Cool. And I might need to reopen the solution as well just to kind of see Kailu's project here as well. I don't know if there is a reload option or anything like that, but it is what it is. Let's see here. Is it still showing? It's not showing. Existing project. Why it's not showing? Let's see here. Okay. The standard entity intelligence. It should be able to see. Yeah, I see your projects right here. So do I have to add it again? Okay, I just added it in. Okay, cool. And it should be able to see your tests as well. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I think we're all good here. Okay. Now let me create a branch for this. Let's see here if I can view incoming, outgoing, and then I need a new branch for this, right? So for some reason the new branch option is disabled. I don't know why. All right. I don't know what we did to it, but we did something. But anyway, in the commit, I want to do merge in here. So merge, add unit tests project like that, and then commit all of this and push that. I know this is going straight to main. For some reason, it's blocking me from adding that stuff. So let's just merge again, consolidate solution. That that should take care of all of this for me, I hope. Okay, cool. So we have all of these projects here. So we have unit tests, integration tests, acceptance tests. Let's just see what our solution look like in here. Here we go. Yeah, we have all of these listed in. So that takes care of all of that. The only thing that's left is the build. Kylo, do you want to do the build one? Or should I do it myself?
Go ahead.
Okay, I'll do the build one. Just so people understand, what is this build one? We basically, what we want to do, we want to basically write C# code. We have a .NET library that basically allows us to generate the build code. Why does that matter? Sometimes you have to change few things. So first and foremost, we want to generate that YAML file for starters. So I'm going to pick up that .NET desktop YAML, which we're going to change very, very soon. I don't think it's the .NET Core. There's .NET Core something like that. Let's see. Uh, yeah, this one probably. Yeah, this one is more like it. So this one here is running on .NET 7. So nobody updated the template yet for the folks that are maintaining these. And we don't want to run on Ubuntu. I want to run on Windows latest and all of that. So we're basically going to write C# code that will generate that for us, right? So I'm going to go ahead and commit this, and I will say, give me a new branch, users, San Habib, infra, initialize, build, right? And this is infra, initialize, build project, right? So here's some proposed change. So this has the file in it, which is great. This should be closing the build piece, which is the last piece that we have for this milestone. Here we go. And now I want to pull that particular branch. I want to build my project and update this. You see how there is a build task that just kicked off right now. And that's the final step in your, I mean, ideally, we would also have a release step, but we don't even have any code yet. So I'm not going to be bothered too much with that. But this branch now is opened. I need to go and create some stuff on top of this branch to make sure that I write C# code that generates YAML files for me. So there's this nice library they call it A.NET, and we're going to be using this library very, very shortly. Let me just kind of synchronize and get that branch. And then I'm going to go down here into remotes and I'm going to say initialize build. So here's infra initialize build, right? Nothing new in here. It's just that extra file that was created. And then I'm going to create a new project, which is basically just a console application. It will be standard.ai.data.entity intelligence.infrastructure.build. Very, very long name. But this is our project here, right? And of course, it created the freaking. See, I really hate that template, man. What do I do? You know, this whole no main, no thing, it's crazy. I don't know why is that. Um, oh my God. Yeah, so let me fix this. So this is, let's set this as a startup project because it's actually the only executable in here. And then on the edit here, I'm just gonna disable these things. This. So this is all set. And then we need that code that will generate the infrastructure YAML file for us, right? So how do we do that? Let me take away all that and let me go into our NuGet package manager, and I'm gonna pick up a .NET. So here's our library here. We should get that library soon. Here we go. And let me add this. I know that Christo pushed some stuff to it recently for the release and all that, so I think it's gonna be pretty cool. It's going to be wild when we start using this. I think it works now successfully for Ubuntu releases, but we want it to also work for Windows and stuff, especially with tagging and all that good stuff. Okay, so what is A.NET really? You know, we have an A.NET client. We have this client here. And this client will basically allow us to really build infrastructure in C sharp, right? Why is it important for us to build infrastructure in C sharp? Because the YAML language is a whole different set of things that you're going to need to learn on your own, right? Why do I need to go write or learn an entirely new um, um, uh, language or scripting language when I could just use what I already know, which is C#.NET, to do the exact same thing, right? So it makes much more sense here to um, basically just leverage C# as we know it to kind of handle that stuff, right? And you basically, for the most part, you want to rely on the knowledge that you already have. Since you already know a programming language, you already know what to do. You don't need to learn another language to execute the same thing. So I'm just going to go here and say, right, GitHub pipeline like this. So this is new a.NET, a.NET, sorry, GitHub pipeline like this. And this pipeline, we need to give it a name, right? So this is standard, as let's call it entity intelligence build. That's going to be the name of this pipeline that we are about to build, right? And then we want it to execute on certain events, right? So what are the events? I want this to run when a particular branch has new data in it or a new pull request against it. So we have two branches. We have just the one branch, which is the main branch. So if there's a pull request, watch this. If there is a pull request opened up against the, this should be a pull request event, that I think. Yeah, there you go. We're basically saying for this particular branch, when you see a new pull request opened against the main branch, and that could be any branch, you can, some people use div branches and stuff like that, which is not something that I recommend, but it's a thing, right? If you see something like that open like this, go ahead and start that build pipeline, right? The same thing happens with the push. The push is basically the equivalent of merge, right? So on the push event, I'm basically going to go and say for these particular branches, go ahead and do for main as well. So when a pull request is merged, run this pipeline. And when a pull request is created, run this pipeline. So we run it basically twice. Okay. And then, okay, so this part just explains that we have to run the build, on these particular events. Okay, great. What's the next step to that? The jobs. What do you really want to run? What are the things that need to happen in here? So I'm just going to go in here and say for the jobs like this. The first thing we want to do is to be able to define which environment that we want to run this pipeline on, right? So let's go ahead and say runs on. It should say runs on in here. So this is jobs, and then here's a build, new build job, and then runs on, right? Runs on, we have build machines already predefined. I want to say Windows latest, right? So you're basically going here and saying, okay, this will run on bunch of VMs, and I want these VMs to run particularly to be running specifically on Windows. For this particular library, it really actually doesn't matter. We could run on Linux, we could run on Windows, we could run on whatever we want. It doesn't really matter. What does Fikri says? In console apps at the dialog box, you select the .NET Framework version. This is a tick box saying, yeah, I know, I forgot it. Yes. Um, okay, so we have this. So we have the jobs, new set, and then we have a, I think this is taking, oh, did this change? Let's see, GitHub pipeline jobs dictionary, right? I think Cresto might have changed that one a little bit. Let's see what this does now. So it's dictionary string now. Okay, and that basically means that I think it's like this now. It's more like this. I don't know if this does the tagging, or I think he did update the documentation for this one. So I'll go and take a look at what that looks like. But now you have this new string, so I guess it looks something like this. So this is a build job, basically, new dictionary jobs, and this is a build job. So I guess this will look like that. right? And I have to get the documentation from Crystal on this. Let me downgrade this one just one bit and basically get together with Krista to see what these updates are like. I think the one that we decided to go with here was version 2 on this version 2 here. So let me update this like that because I don't want to confuse people. Honestly, I want to see. I'm not sure I like the dictionary route on this one. So let me go back here. Yeah, like this, build jobs. I will update this as soon as I sync up with Christo on that part, but for now, I want it to be just simple as that. So in here, this is the build, right? I'm basically saying run this on a Windows machine, right? And then what are the steps that I want to take to make this work? So here's a list of GitHub tasks like this, and these GitHub tasks now is basically every step that you want the pipeline to take to be able to build your code and verify that your code is running, right? So the first thing in here would be basically to check out your code. So this checkout task, right? I'll take V1 for this, and I'm going to give it a name and say checking out code like this. So this is one task. And then the next task here would be I want to set up the .NET version that I have. So I want set up .NET like this task V1, I think. Let's pull that guy in. Here you go. Set up .NET task. I know some people basically went and added in new tasks in there. We could play around with these. If you're part of that effort, please, join our channel and our live stream and explain to us what happened here. So this is installing .NET basically. That's this task. And we are running on a very specific version. So I want to specifically say this target version for this is, let's do that. The target version for this will be the .NET 7, right? Where do you even get that version number from, right? I'll show you how to do that in a second. So let me go back here and let me take a look at this guy. So .NET 7 download. Here's the version that you can take from here. So this is the version number here. It's not this one. .NET 7. There's the release, I think 7.708. Is that the right version? Because there is a specific sequence of numbers other than the public name that you look at. I guess it's 7. So there is this guy, but that's not it. Let's see here. Things change a lot on this website. Is it, I guess 7, I guess 7.0, yeah, I guess it's this guy, 7.0.305. So let me go back to this one here. And I guess that's gonna be my target version here. So this, like that, 7.0.305. And you wanna be specific about that instead of doing, like you'll see some people do this, right? That basically means if there's a version upgrade that you're not aware of, it's just gonna barf out. It's just gonna say, and you're gonna be running in circles wondering what really broke in my system, and you have no idea because you added this magic thing that's upgrading the software for you without you knowing. Okay, so install.NET. What does Gregory say? It says there's a RESTful Sense has an update with the current A.NET. Yeah, I need to review that. I'm not sure about the dictionary route, Gregory. Like, I'm not sure I like it. I might need to change the syntax there, but I'll definitely take a look at it. Okay. Fikri says .NET dash dash. Yeah, but that shows the installed version, not the latest version. We want them to go get the latest version that is not necessarily installed on your machine. Okay. So install.NET, I want to go and basically restore all the libraries that we have. Ideally, we don't have any libraries yet, but for the future, you're going to have all these tasks in there. So you may as well just kind of run the restore. So I'm going to give this a name, restoring NuGet packages. And you can call this whatever you want, really, just something meaningful that people will understand would be much appreciated. And then let's build this .NET build task. Here you go. So this is basically just, it's really writing the code for you. You're just like, as you can see, I'm just really adding the most minimal amount of configurations and details possible, right? So this is building projects. And then the last one would be the test, which is us basically wanting to run all the tests on this project. So test task, right? And this is here running tests, right? So now we can take this whole object that we built in here and put that object here and let the thing do the build, right? But we still need a path for this. So this will be my ADO pipeline, but I still need the path. Path is interesting because you need to kind of, I'm going to steal the one that we have. Where do you even find that guy? If you switch into the non-solution mode, you'll be able to see GitHub workflows.NET YAML. So we're trying to catch this guy, the .NET YAML guy, because that's the guy that has all the changes. And we will know that whether our changes actually took effect by simply just running the console application and seeing whether that actually worked or not, right? So I'm going to put that in here as the path, since most of our paths are the same, so it shouldn't be that much different. And I'm adding arguments in here for the names. Always add arguments and just add just a random string just hanging in there like this. And then I need copyrights in here. And maybe someone will do a code drop and add the main thing for this. So let's just run this and see if it actually works. Does it actually find that file? It looks like it did find the file. Yeah, it did. So you see all the little details that I added, the version, the checking out code, installing .NET, all of that is already in place. So I already took care of all of that. Okay, so we have all that in place. Now I can now update this. I can go and say infra add build project, right? And I don't have to add anything else because this already has the all the little details. I've already created a draft PR when I added this pipeline, so that guy should already be there. Okay, let's go back to our PR here and just make sure things are running. And that would be basically the last task for us today. We basically just knocked out the entire infrastructure stuff just from the ground up. Why is this guy failing though? Let's see. This guy said specify which project or solution file to use because this folder contains one. Yeah, this is the yeah, see, it's gonna freak out like that because now we have two solutions in our directory because of the one that was created before. So let me delete that EI core because we actually don't need that at all. And I will also delete the folder that was created because we already created all the pieces that we need. I'm just going to commit this here and say, here is infra delete extra solution file. Check this out. I don't know why it's saying create a pull request even though it knows there's an open pull request. I think Visual Studio is still catching up with us here. Bharat says keep posting amazing stuff. Thank you, Bharat. Appreciate it. Okay, and of course this failed because of the same reason. Now we just have to wait and make sure that this one actually is working as expected. What do you think, Kailu? Infrastructure for this library is good?
Yeah, it has to be.
I think it's good.
It
So
has
let's
to
go
be.
back to what Gregory was saying. So RESTful Sense now should have all the new build code that I'm not really familiar with. So jobs, new jobs, build job, We did say RESTful sense SB up to date. Where is it, Gregory? Because it's certainly not in the build. This one's still using the old school one, right? Yeah, this is still using 204. So I'm not seeing it. Unless it's in a draft pull request or something like that. Add patch methods, enable optional stringification properties. No, this is different. Yeah. Anyway, um, okay. So while this is happening, let's just see where things at in here. So it did restore. See all the things that I built, checking out code, all these names that I added. It's already taking care of it. Now it's building the project. Let's hope this one goes well. It did. Now it's running the tests. One more step, and then we should call it a night. There we go. Running tests. Yep, all the tests are running, and this guy should go green. Yes, it did. Here's a slam dunk for us. That basically wraps up this entire milestone. So just like that, you can see like we basically added all the little pieces and components. There isn't really much work to it, really. You're just really just adding in the places um, where the code is supposed to go. Gregory says I may be wrong. No, the one that has the auto releases. Okay, maybe A.NET itself. I'm not sure. Anyway, what this means is that this milestone is basically done. So you see it's 100% complete. We have nothing else here to do on this milestone, right? In our next session, tomorrow's Thursday, Kay, right? I think it's Thursday. So in our next session, we can start building the brokers, right? We could go back to our original architecture, when we
Mm-hmm.
talked about, and we might start like by tomorrow, we might start kind of talking about, are we actually going to take the OpenAI route? Or are we going to take an offline model route? I don't know. We're still going to have to think about these things and see um, which route. Like so far, it's still open AI, but there are options out there that may say otherwise. Okay, Gregory says it is A.NET. So in A.NET, did Christo use the latest? Let's see here. A.NET. Let's see here on the build program. Oh wow, what is that? String branch name master dictionary and then build and then job and then everything is the same. Hmm. I don't like the idea that there are strings hanging in the air like that. So I'm not sure about that approach. But we can definitely make a new release where we can make this simpler because just leaving things up like that is not, I'm not super psyched about that part. Okay, thank you, Gregory. Appreciate it. Okay, Kailu, so tomorrow we start building brokers, right? We need two different brokers. We need one that goes and talks to the database. And I heard from Callum today that we don't have to use Dapper. We could still use the entity framework to retrieve a dynamic set of values. So we'll try that. I'll try the entity framework route to see if it works. Otherwise, we have Dapper. But also the OpenAI route or whatever is a language model that we can rely on to kind of allow us to query that data using a natural language. Anything from your side, Kailu, before we wrap up?
Nope.
All right,
Good.
cool. Let's connect tomorrow. Let's keep this going. Let's get a release. I don't think this is a super huge library, so I don't expect it to, if we have like two brokers and two services and two processing services, and then one orchestration and one client, I don't know, maybe a couple of weeks if we do it every
Yeah.
night, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's do it.
All right, let's talk tomorrow then. Thank you all.
Yep,
Thank you all
sounds
for
good.
watching. See you tomorrow. Take care.